Uprooted Theatrical Studios presents.
It's 10 Tips Tuesday.
Hi, my name is Veronica Rose, and today I will be giving you my 10 tips when looking at graduate schools. All right, tip number 1 is all about timing and understanding where you are in your career and if graduate school is even the right move right now. For me, I went into graduate school right after my undergraduate degree was completed. But some people wait a few years. They build up their resumes, they build up their portfolios, and either one is okay. Number 2 is investment. And it's something that not everyone really wants to talk about, but financial investment is a big one. For me, I had to understand that school costs money, we all know this, but also even just traveling expenses to apply and audition for these schools. Now, with everything going on, things have changed a little bit, and Zoom has become a big part of looking at graduate schools and even attending. But it's not only an investment of time, of money, but also in your education. Never forget that a master's degree in theater is a terminal degree, which means if later in life you'd like to teach, you are qualified to teach at a university level. These next few tips all have to do with the questions that I asked myself, and I think you should ask yourself when looking at programs. And number 3 is the length of a program. What type of program is it? How many years is this going to take? Is it on a January to December schedule or semesters with summers off? I'm currently in a 3-year program that has summers off, but it is intensive enough that I don't have a part-time job while I'm at school. And to me, that was one of those things that I had to balance. If I'm gonna spend, 6 months of the year just working on school, then the other times when I can work and save and kind of balance that investment that way. Number 4 is about the training you will receive at the program. I know this sounds like a given when you're looking at different programs, what the kind of training you'll receive, but also understand what kind of is the specialty of each school. I'm currently at a program that focuses a lot on Stanislavski's system in acting, and they translate that to directing and playwriting as well. This also goes to designers, directors, anything else like that. You need to understand what type of approach each program is geared towards. And I think that also helps you in getting a graduate degree, refine what you enjoy and what you're good at, and finding a program that really fits you. Number 5 is about location. Now, I know that things have been a little different now and a lot of things are online. Zoom has become a big part of our everyday lives. But if you are considering moving to the city or town in which the school is located, don't forget that you're not just going to the school, you will be living there. Understand that if you're staying in the US, that the regions of this country are very different. If you're moving out of the US to an international school, what's it going to be like to live there for you? Another part of that is this is a big step in your career. Where are you going to start making those connections? The arts, though we are very much a global thing that is connected, we are also still very much localized. It's who are these people that you're making connections with in the classroom, at the school, in the city. Number 6 is about the professors and the alumni at a program. Now, when it comes to professors, I think it's something that you can understand back to that technique I was talking about. What is the training you're going to receive? One thing that I found very helpful is that most schools will list their professors and kind of their resumes, their CVs online, so you can get a little taste of what you might get in the classroom there. With alumni, I think it's also important to look at alumni within the last decade. It is great to see the legacy of people who have been going to the school throughout, 20, 30, 40 years ago. But it's also important to look at who has been there and who has completed this program most recently. Because I'll be honest, I think that will give you a great indication of the type of training they have received. You'll see the professors who taught them, and then also what did they kind of get at the end of the year. Not that every program, just produces cookie cutters, but that it does give you a taste of this is maybe what I can expect at the end of my term. All right, so let's say now you've made the decision to a couple schools you want to apply to. Number 7 is about those auditions and interviews. Again, things are online now. so it's a little bit different. But down the line, if, let's say we go back to our new normal, auditions and interviews do also cost money. It's an investment again, seeing someone in person. I think this also is a great time to see the school in person. If you're able to visit a campus, I think that's very helpful. I unfortunately was not, but I was able to meet with a couple of the professors and then also a graduate admissions. Number 8 is about resumes, headshots, and portfolios. Again, this is just a piece that I think is part of anyone's career in this field, but it's also important when you're going to grad school. This is where your career is starting. I think it's important, get an outside look on all of those things before you show up to auditions and interviews. Multiple copies, digital copies. The biggest thing that I have learned is email yourself a packet of all 3 of those things. That way, when you go into, let's say, an audition or an interview or anything that you're presenting a portfolio and they said, hey, do you have an extra copy of this? If you do not, you can say, hey, I have a digital copy. Do you mind if I send it to you right now? And I think that was something that really helped me have that confidence of, hey, if I don't have something on me in paper copy or in hard copy form, I have it digitally and it's ready to go. All right, the last 2 tips have to do with after you've picked a graduate school, you've applied, you've been accepted, wonderful, you're going there. Now what? So number 9 has to do with living. Understand that your education is very important, and that is the reason you are maybe taking a move to a new city, but you also have to take care of yourself as an artist. Understand, where am I going to be living? Who am I going to be living with? How am I paying rent? I know in undergraduate, all of those things kind of come in one package deal. You have your school, you have food plans, you have campus housing, you have social events that are planned for you and handed to you. But in graduate school, it's not quite like that. So I think it's important to start planning out, all of those elements are a little bit more on you. You go to the school to get your training, to get your degree, and then, how do you take care of yourself along the way? All right, we have finally made it to number 10, and number 10 I can only describe as a feeling. For me, I didn't know where I was going to end up for graduate school. I'd made the decision. I had gone through the whole process of auditions and interviews. I finally picked the city I kind of wanted to be in, but you have to know that you have a gut instinct and you need to follow it. There's something about when you get to that program and you know that it's the right place for you to be, you have this wonderful feeling. It's wonderful to feel that I am starting my career. I'm working on my career. This is another step in my career, but I think it's a sense of peace. It's a sense of peace and excitement. And if you don't have that, maybe you need to move to a different program. Maybe you need to stay at that program and work a little harder at it. But the point is, you will find that feeling when you know where you're supposed to be. So those are my 10 tips. I hope they were helpful. They are just a lot of questions to ask yourself, but I think that's one of the most important things when looking at graduate schools. This is a journey for you, and see where it takes you.